Hello everyone who is filing in. You're all lovely. I am so glad you're here. This is Journal Jam number 4 for Monday, April 13th, 2020. Switched it from my fan page to my timeline. Yes, Kathy, you are commenting in exactly the right place. Because people couldn't find my fan page, because fan pages are like kind of suppressed, whereas my timeline is like right here and easy to find. So here's my timeline. Hi. Whether you are friends with me on Facebook or not, you can access my timeline because this is going public. So, glad you're here. But if you want to actually win the free seat and bod and or have me see your comments, you have to come over to the Wilder Hood, which is the only place that I'm seeing any of that. Okay, so first I want to show you this. Is it 3? It is 3. So I'm going to show you this. This is the journal I'm going to be working on today. One of my favorite journals. I've had this for a long time. It cost me a small fortune. It's handmade paper. This was 2014. You are Julie. So this journal is a leather-bound journal. It's stab-bound. It has homemade paper in it, and I save it for like really super special occasions. That's what we're looking for here. There we go. That's about right. So it's homemade paper in a leather-bound journal. This is one of my very earliest journals, just a couple of years after I started art journaling. Some really meaningful spreads in here from 2014. You can definitely see Tamara Laporte's influence in some of these spreads. So I'm going to be working in this journal today. This was 2015. 2015. One of my favorite spreads right here. Just a quick flip here. Mostly experimentation. This was for Spectrum with Calicara. This you guys will recognize from a YouTube video that I often repost because it's one of my favorite pieces. This was a spell that I cast. It's in progress. I believe that this was for Succulent Stacks. This was for, I think, Book of Days at one point. And here we are. And we have a spread that's been prepared with gesso. It had some writing on it. Thank you, Jim. That's lovely of you to say. All right. Journal Jam. So we pull a prompt, we do it until we're done doing it, and then we pull another. Oh, Julie, I could just knit more. I'm not worried about it. They're not precious. No, Beth, if you want to, while I'm pulling the first prompt, please go ahead and gesso if you feel that your paper cannot take the usual mixed media application. So just gesso and dry. We tend to take our time in these here parts, so please don't worry about it. Journal Jam, we pull the prompt, and then we do it until we're done, and then we pull another one, and someone usually tracks it. Look, we got this last time. Blue. I wrote them myself, Rhonda. There's a file in the Wilder Hood under Files called Journal Jam. You can print it out. So we're going to start with blue, just like we did. Was it last journal? No. Yes? Last Journal Jam, we started with blue. Oh, wait. Let me grab that and put it aside so we don't draw it again. All right. Blue. So blue. So blue. What am I feeling here? blue. So I'm kind of feeling, I wonder if my watercolors, my Hydrus watercolors will work. There's only one way to find out, right? Those are in a bin. Which bin are they in? Here. So pure impulse, I'm pulling out my Dr. P.H. Martin Hydrus watercolors. These are basically liquid watercolor. I'm going to see how they work on gesso. Now the likelihood is that I will have to fix these with a workable fixative. Turquoise blue, that sounds good. What is this? Phthalo blue. This is a blue aqua. What is this? Payne's gray, which we know is blue. I think that's good to start. Could probably do some ultramarine and cobalt blue. Alright, so these are just like any other watercolor except that they are liquid. So you can use the dropper. You can also put them in a palette and use them from the palette. So I'm going to keep this ceramic palette here. But what I really want to do is spray the page, get it nice and wet, do a wet into wet application of this watercolor and see what happens. And because I'm using watercolors that are all running in Jiffy, I am going to preserve my COVID bracers because I really don't want to get them all manky. Now this spread has been prepared with some white gesso. If you knew that you were going to be working with watercolor, which is what this is, you could have used absorbent ground or watercolor ground instead. I didn't know how this spread was going to start, so I'm trying this on gesso. There is a likelihood that I am going to have to fix this with workable fixative, but thankfully I have some. So I'm starting just by throwing it on the page. Just get it on there. Just get it on there. Oof, that was heavy. That's Payne's gray, which looks like a really beautiful blue. And I'm going to grab a nice big moppy brush and I'm going to play. So what I want is for these colors to bleed together. So in order to keep yourself really loose and make sure that you're not getting stressed, hold your brush way back. Like, don't get all like this with it. Keep it way back. I ordered them online, Jim. They're called Dr. P.H. Martin Hydrus Watercolor. And Dr. P.H. Martin also makes India ink as well, which I also love. But the watercolors are especially bourgeois, as I like to say. Sherry, once you come into the group, if you can find the navigation menu, click on watch parties, and you should be able to see it there. Otherwise, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You can also just come to my timeline, but if you're commenting there, I won't be able to see your comments. So just keep it really loose. I tend to hold it like, look at this. It's the opposite of how you hold a pen, right? So you're just sort of cradling it. You're keeping your hand far back on the brush, and you're just keeping it really super loose. Super loose. Now, obviously, we're starting with a super wet application of pigment. This is going to mean that I get to have a cigarette and a sip of wine while I am drying this, because it's going to take a while to dry. I also tend, when I'm doing the journal jams, to obey every impulse. Right now, I feel like throwing some alcohol on this to see what it will do. So I've got a bottle of, a very hoarded and precious bottle of isopropyl alcohol. Look at this. Ugh, just gorgeous. So what I'm going to do, let's grab my alcohol. Where is my alcohol? Here we go. You can, hello Danny. I love you, Danny. You can use a brush with the alcohol. Don't use a good one though. Use a manky old one. Just like right in the bottle. And this was just an impulse. If you want to, you can follow suit. Do the same. One of the least archival things you can do. But this is our art journal and we don't care about that. You can also put a little bit in your hand and fling with your hands if you so choose. So that is what alcohol does with the Hydrus watercolors. Pretty cool, right? And I'm being pretty precious about this bottle of alcohol. I have no idea when I'll be able to get some more. You can't buy hand sanitizer in Canada right now. So if you need it, you're kind of hooped. So I'm going to let this dry. I've got my heat gun. Laptop is plugged into the same plug as the heat gun, which is a little bit problematic right now. So I'm going to pull that up. There we go. Now, I get to sip some wine, have a smoke while we chat. So if you're playing along, the first prompt was blue. And I'm pulling another prompt. And the next prompt is Brayer. So Brayer needs something to Brayer, right? So we have to decide what we're Brayering on there. So I'm going to let you guys vote. You tell me what you want me to Brayer on here. So we'll dry it first, and then we'll Brayer. And you tell me what we're Brayering, and that will be the prompt. For those of you who are watching anywhere but in the Wilderhood, please come on over into the Wilderhood, where I am actually watching the comments. This is also where I'm giving away a seat to BOD 2020 because some lovely member of BOD purchased it and said, please give this to someone who needs it. So that is what I'm doing today. And you honestly can't enter unless you're here in the Wilderhood. So Altina said metallic paint. Sarah Trump said gesso. What if I did both? So whoever is keeping track first was blue. I did the blue with a variety of Hydrus watercolors from Dr. PH. Jim, my community is for humans, my love. It is not a gendered community. You're welcome in my community. So first was blue, then metallic something, then gesso. I think I'll do a metallic and a gesso. We love men. We love men. We love non-gendered. We love transgendered. Like we're all about the humans here. Non-binary. And I'm shocked. You should know me better than that, my love. Jim and I have been friends through Lightbook for years and years now. Years and years. So when I brayer, because we're brayering, I'm not going to worry about using workable fixative on this spread, because the brayer is going to pick up some of the Hydrus watercolor and that's going to look gorgeous. But I will be mindful of the color I use. So we've decided on a metallic and a gesso for the brayered portion of our program. Man, wet into wet works too. That works for me. Hi, Karen. I'm thinking this for the brayer. This is a pearlescent. It's not actually a metallic, but I'm going to go with the pearlescent because someone said pearlescent. I'm also going to throw some silver on here because someone said metallic. And I'm going to throw some gesso on here because someone said gesso. So we're going to brayer. We're going to brayer all the things. I think what I'm going to do is start with this gorgeous pearlescent heavy viscosity paint because we want to do the heavy ones first so they have the time to dry while we're doing other things. Go to the brayer. I have multiple brayers. You can use any one of these. So I have a teeny tiny one. And I have a medium-sized one. And I have a big one. I think for this, I'm going to use this one. I kind of want to do like a color field, like right across the page like that. Is someone tracking prompts? And if you wouldn't mind tracking them like how I'm doing things. So like we did blue and then maybe say Effy used Hydrus watercolor. Second one, the alcohol was just an impulse. So you don't have to add that, but it is something that I felt like doing. Second one was Brayer. And I'm choosing to brayer a pearlescent. So this pearlescent metallics. I'm using Liquitex. Yes, Sarah, that's lovely. Thank you, Bash, for taking over. We love you. Sebastian is Sarah's son, and he is my platonic stepchild. Sarah's my platonic life partner. So I'm his like weird stepmommy. So this is metallic silver. Going really light, so I'm not pushing really hard. I don't want to lose everything that I've done so far. There are songs right now that are breaking my heart. And I'm listening to one that breaks my heart right now. Alright, now I'm going to push. Now I want to kind of move it around. Get it going. And then some gesso, and I'm feeling like I don't want a lot of gesso on this. Oh my god, look at that. It's making me want to touch myself. Orgasm! Where is my... Kind of like the idea of this up here. And then soften. Like that. Just soften that edge a bit. Look at that. Oh my god. I mean, honestly, slap out a sentiment and call it a day. That is pretty heavenly. Yes. And just because I only have the one palette right now, I'm going to do a big no-no and wipe my paint out and toss it. It's a time constraint thing, right? Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, let's give this a try. For those of you who are waiting for a prompt, I will pull, and then that's going to give me a moment to think about what I'm going to do with the prompt. Prompt is Wavy Shapes. I feel like the Journal Jam gods are with us today. Does this not look like waves should happen in this? Wavy Shapes works for me. So Journal Jam number 3 for April 13th, 2020 is Wavy Shapes. Okay, Wavy Shapes. What are we doing? How are we doing our Wavy Shapes? Like I have a Wavy Shape template. So I think what I do is I do this first with a Stabilo all pencil so that I can shift it if I need to. So Stabilo all pencil is a pencil that works on all the things, paper, glass, metal, etc. Works great for mixed media. It's also water soluble, so you can remove it once you're done creating whatever it is that you're creating with it, or you can also smoosh it out. Yeah, that's working for me. Should I just stagger them like that? Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Like it really real good, just can't get enough good. I'm that bad type, nothing on the sad type. I'm a seducer dead type. I'm a bad guy. This is a tool that I got from Diane Reedley. Thank you, Diane. It's meant to be a journaling block. It's really amazing as a journaling block. You can actually use this side to measure and this side to make wavy shapes. I guess I'm pretty glad that you're... I mean, I don't see what she says. Let's go. That feels good. I think I'm going to add another right up here. Third was Wavy Shapes. I had a dream about everything I wanted. So I did the wavy shapes with this Stabilo all, so those can be removed if necessary. But I'm feeling like glazing, so this is an impulse. So this would be 3.5. And I'm going to grab myself some Quin Magenta. And I'm going to Glaze every second wave just to add some color. See how that looks. So a glaze is essentially just a transparent layer of color that you add to your spreads. I'm actually going to just use a nice soft brush and some clean water. So 3 was Wavy Shapes, 3.5, which is my impulse move, is to glaze the Wavy Shapes, every second Wavy Shape, with Quin Magenta. Of course, you use, do you, man, like whatever color you want to use. So this is prompt 3.3. It was an impulse. Prompt 3 was add Wavy Shapes, and then my impulse was to add a glaze or magenta. And then this is going to need to be dry so that I can remove this stabilo. One problem now. No, actually, I'm going to go right over the stabilo with the acrylic paint. So what that's going to do is slightly activate it, but also seal it in. Because I really don't want to go over this with a baby wipe. Because my Hydrus watercolors have not been fixed. So that would be too risky. So I'm actually just going to bump my paintbrush right up against these wavy lines. Seal that stabilo in. Once the acrylic paint is dry, that stabilo is not going to go anywhere. This is paint and water. So it's Quin Magenta from Golden Fluid Acrylics. And I'm just using a really wet brush to create the glaze, which is just a transparent application of the paint. Now the Quin Magenta from Golden is quite transparent anyway. Quin Magenta. It's quite transparent anyway. It's just a feature of their paints is that quite a few of them. Ellen, if you'd like to do it again, do it with the 50% off coupon, Birds of a Feather, and then send me an email and let me know that it's a scholarship. So Wavy Shapes, impulse was to do the glaze with Quin Magenta, and let's pull another prompt. Pink. Can we count the Quin Magenta, or do we need to add some, you know what, I'm going to add some actual pink. I am indeed going to add some actual pink. I really don't want to waste that. Paint. Do I have a palette painting on the go somewhere? I have this thing I do where I have paintings on the go at all times, so I can use my leftover paint. So I think at this point with this spread, I don't really have to worry too much about reactivating my Hydrus watercolors. We've got a lot going on here that's going to protect it, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, so this is Pebeo iridescent high viscosity paint. This is, we're calling this pink. This counts as pink. Here. And I want to this side. This is a catalyst tool that I'm using here. Kind of not loving the idea of this being a, flag thing. I don't want people looking at this and thinking flag. So I'm kind of breaking up these waves for that reason. This is prompt 4. Yes, 4 is pink. Just gonna get right in there with this. And I'm doing this with a catalyst tool, but obviously if you don't have a catalyst tool, put it on with whatever. Oh man. It's making me feel a certain kind of way, if you see what I'm saying. Well, this page is super clunky and full of texture, so we're not going to get straight lines. Oh, but look at that. Oh my god. Orgasm. Let's pull out my palette painting here. This is quite thick, this paint, so I'm going to go ahead and dry this. And while I'm drying it, I'll pull another prompt. So this will be prompt number 5. Add random shapes. So Journal Jam prompt number 5. Add random shapes. Like, I'm feeling circles for this, Karen. It's a great suggestion, but I'm actually feeling circles. Who say you're not for today? Yeah, I'm feeling this. Random shapes, circles. When the bottom drops out, I hope I'll... Alright, I'm gonna actually just do this. So this is a black Stabilo oil pencil, and I'm gonna go up here as well. And then I think I'll do this corner as well, like so. Yeah, I like that. I just want you guys to see how this look at the glow. It also at this point feels and looks like leather. It's amazing. Jeannie, yes, you are. And then I'm gonna glaze. So I'm gonna glaze now with some phthalo turquoise. I feel like that's appropriate. So that is going to be 5.5 Myrna, or whoever else is keeping track. 5.5 is Glaze. And all the 0.5s throughout the process are completely optional. You don't need to do them. This is just what happens when Effy is art journaling. I just get a bee in my bonnet. So Glaze, again, transparent layer of paint that is not meant to obscure what happened before. It just pushes everything back. So you won't lose anything. I really want that to be a little all to be activated there, so I made sure to bump right up against it. Out. No! Really? Can I protest? So Journal Jam number 6, orange. Oh, no! So number 6 was orange. So I'm gonna grab a... Alright, so I don't want a lot of orange on this. I want kind of like a discreet, kind of delicate application of orange on this. So what I'm going to do is paint this cardboard with the fluorescent orange. And then I'm going to add hints of this orange by stamping like so. So I kind of want to join the background to the circles in a sense, if you see what I'm saying. So it's just the barest hint. So it doesn't have to be like a massive patch of orange or cover anything with orange. Just a pop of orange. Just a smidgen. Just a speck. Ooh, I like that word, speck. Wow, that's nice. I like that. Right here. All the orange, there it is. And just little specks of orange. And then I think what I'll do is, because I'm not angry about this bit of orange on the page, I think I'm going to add a couple of other spots of it in kind of a random way. So just like, that's not making me mad. Not mad about that at all. It's kind of adding like a glow. jam, but I pay attention. What Journal Jam tells me to do. I have no idea at this point where this is going, and it's 4:20. We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to sit and look at this for a second. See if anything's suggesting itself. For those of you who would, excuse me, like another prompt, here is a prompt. Purple. So you could, if you hated the orange, you could glaze over the orange with purple and it would create kind of a brown or an earthy tone, depending on what purple you used. Or you can add your purple, I don't know, where your magenta is, or as an outline. Or, let me just see here. Does this count as purple? Are we counting this? Can we count this beautiful color as purple? It's called violet. I'm calling this purple. Alright, so I've got this beautiful color from Liquitex called Light Violet. I'm kind of adding like radiating lines. What are we thinking here? Because nothing is really suggesting itself in terms of what this means. It just feels good. Do you know what I mean? This just feels good. There's like no meaning. I'm not ascribing any meaning to this whatsoever. I'm afraid to pull another prompt, in fact, because I'm really kind of fond of the way this looks right now. So maybe now we stop and we start with finishing touches. How's everyone doing? Because I already know I want white dots in between these stripes. Like, I'm already intending. Is everyone cool with that? I actually, okay, you want to laugh? Laura wants to know if I only have one palette painting going at a time. No. Some of these are finished. This one's finished. So I'd like to mount these on a hardboard, on a cradle board. That one's just for me. This one's finished. Like this one needs a sentiment, but I think this one's finished. This one's finished. So I'm going to mount these to hardboard before they go up for sale. These are watercolor paper that I cut down to 8x8. Because, yeah, these are 8x8. Okay, so I'm going to dry this, and then we need to figure out what to put on here. The reason that this is taking so long to dry is that these dots are quite dimensional. They're little droplets of paint, so they do take a while to dry. And I've smeared enough of these little dots to know better than to go forward before they're completely dry, because I will make a mess. Alright. I don't know what to put on this. I think I'm going to need to, like, just stop and step away and let it figure out what it wants.